It was one of the exhibition games in Arizona. I remember, sitting, down the bullpen, watching one of the stars warm up, and I look over and Kershaw's sitting to my left, and you got Brian McCann, to my right. I grew up, Braves fan, from the South, and watched a lot of BMAC, and just one of those moments where it's like, man, this is cool. We're getting to play a baseball game. You're around these guys.
John, we are joined by somebody timely who's on Team USA. He's also a Met. He was a Yankee, and he's a friend of this show, Clay Holmes.
Absolutely. Looking forward to having Clay on the show. I think he was a high school valedictorian, so a very smart guy. He's dominating for the WBC, and he's a big part of that Mets rotation. Will it be a six-man rotation? We'll ask him about that and more when he joins us. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well, John. I'm sure we'll also talk Carson Benge trying to make the Mets, Jasson Dominguez trying to make the Yankees, and Tarik Skubal, if he's sticking with Team USA or not. We'll play hit and error at the end if you stick with us on the show with Joel Sherman and Jon Heyman. John, we have a lot to talk about this week because we're getting closer to the regular season. The WBC is in full flower. Uh, can I ask you one I was thinking specifically about you in the last few days? We didn't prepare for this. Is like NFL free agency began yesterday and NFL free agency ended yesterday, as we're doing. As
Did?
one,
It
as one
went
of the
past me.
yeah, as one of the foremost baseball newsbreakers, do you wish ours was like that? You could do it in 24 and then you have your rest of your winter off?
Yeah, that certainly would cut down on the work. I guess it's more interesting in baseball, but yeah, that would cut down a little bit on the work. Yeah, from 4 months to one day.
Yeah. I
Certainly, I'm sure it was frenzied though. I saw that Schefter was complaining that his cell was out when he was with the on the show or something like that. So you better be alert for those 24 hours, I guess. And you
I
know,
don't I don't mind it stretched out. It gives us stuff to do all winter, keeps us out of trouble on the streets. Anyway, what's major right now, John, is the WBC. It's caught a lot of people's attention. There's obviously three kind of super teams in this, right? The Dominican, Japan, the United States. Obviously, the dream of the people running this, especially in Major League Baseball, is that Japan and the United States have a clash again on March 17th in Miami. You're going to be there for the semis and the finals. John, how about just an overall thought? Do you like the World Baseball Classic?
well, if people are watching, can see I'm already in Miami, so I'm pretty excited. I'm already here warming up for it. I do. I like it better and better each year. I think it's getting bigger. It's getting more interest. If you watch the teams, the excitement, Dominican is. I mean, that team is off the charts with the spirit. And certainly the upstart teams are into it. Certainly Team Mexico was, and look, I give them credit. Lost last night as we do this 5-3. I mean, they have four stars, major league stars at the top of the lineup. After that, kind of drops off, right? And they're able to hang with the Team USA, and they've beaten Team USA the past couple of times. I mean, they've got guys from the Mexican League, guys in the minor leagues, and they compete. I'm finding it fun. I like to see Didi Gregorius back playing, hitting a home run. Philip Almon, who hadn't played in the majors in nearly a decade, playing for a team. It's certainly interesting to watch kind of the upstart teams and see what they can do. I mean, Team Israel had a couple moments. Some of these teams had moments. Team Nicaragua, who has a great manager, Dusty Baker, not so great. Neither is Team Brazil, but hey, they're in there competing. They're in there trying. It is a lot of fun, and our team is off the charts. I mean, you've got a team where Gunnar Henderson and Pete Crow Armstrong are on the bench. I mean, shouldn't we be killing everybody? I mean, and that includes Japan. I mean, I was watching the Japan game, and the announcer was telling us that they're the number one team. I mean, I guess they won last. I mean, they did win last time I was there when Otani struck out Trout. But I mean, our team should win, shouldn't they?
Well, single elimination is tricky, as we know. We
Right,
watch,
that's fair.
like I think was it last year the Pirates went like 5-1 against the Dodgers during the regular season, 6-1, something like that. Stuff happens short. We see this in Olympic basketball, where you look at the 12 guys who the Americans bring and go, well, how would anyone beat them? But the games are competitive. The other teams have like spirit and they've played together a little bit in international tournaments in Europe. In the case, a lot of these guys play winter ball together that we see. You know what stands out for me, John, is I hate to be maudlin about it. I'd like to be optimistic. Is this feels like a great tournament after a great World Series and a great time for baseball as far as a
Right.
revival. And we're going to go right back into talking about labor and if there's going to be, a lockout next off season and worse than that with games lost. It feels like the sport is on a winning streak, and to disrupt that with labor talk and ultimately a lockdown would be kind of destructive to me.
Absolutely. I think the sport definitely is on a winning streak. WBC has been fantastic, and we just got through the preliminaries, right? And we expected those teams to win. And I'm going to throw Venezuela in there as the fourth team. They're pretty good as well. And not that I expect them to win. There are some good. Puerto Rico's not bad, and they've done very well in the past. But I mean, that Team USA is fantastic. Yeah, I say we don't talk labor on the show. I'm going to put at least 2 months. No more labor. No labor talk on the show. We're going to make a rule right now.
How about no
Uh,
labor till Labor Day?
that's nice. I hope we can do that. I'm not
I
foreseeing
doubt that.
that
Yeah,
happening,
yeah.
but I'm going
How
to
about
say let's
Memorial
do
Day?
labor. It's very unfortunate that
Yeah.
I mean I can make a deal with myself right now. Just get rid of that. Don't talk about the cap, and then don't move the free agency, and don't move the arbitration. I think things are going pretty well. I would raise the minimum, so I do think it is an accomplishment to make the major leagues, and you should probably be making $1 million. You are in basketball, I believe, if you're make it, and I think they should be making 1 million. So that's the end of our labor talk now for 2 months. All right.
John, you solved it. Should I send you to the Middle East? That was pretty quick.
That's
You
a
were
little
good
more
there.
difficult. That's
Look,
more difficult. I wish it was so easy, but I'm not optimistic. But let's not talk about it anymore. That's
yeah,
it. Now that's the end of it.
let's talk about another decision that had to be made here, and that was by arguably the best starting pitcher in the sport, Tarik Skubal. He pitched Saturday night against Great Britain, gave up a homer on the first pitch he threw, and then turned into Tarik Skubal, three shutout innings from there forward. The Americans won handily over Jazz Chisholm and Great Britain, 8-1. And then he kind of had his moment here where he didn't know which way to go, whether to stay or go. Uh, uh, he's the opening day starter in San Diego on the 26th of March. It would have been hard to line that up and stay in line and do that. John, what do you think about the decision he had to make and the decision he ultimately did make to kind of stay for the game on Monday night, but then rejoin the Tigers and kind of continue forward?
Yeah, I think he saw the big picture and he made the right decision. He is a Tiger employee. I don't think you change it in midstream. That certainly affects the team. I think he did the right thing. Who was he going to replace? Let's say it was McLean. Over the 4 innings they're going to throw. What is he? Point oh, he's slightly better. At this point, I don't think it's worth the change for our team. I get it. You get caught up in it. I'm glad that we have that spirit. Maybe not quite to the degree of the Dominican, but I'm glad that he had that spirit and it affected him and he was into it and he did well. But I mean, you're a free agent, not just any free agent, but a guy who's got probably 400, 500 million coming to him. Look, Peralta, I just saw Peralta in spring training with the Mets, a couple hundred miles up the road. He's not there. No free agent is ever there. I don't think a pitcher. He did throw. He did throw one game, and good for him that he did that. But I mean, the Dominican team would be a lot better if Freddie Peralta was their number one or two starter than what they have now. And they are, to me, they're the biggest threat to beat the U.S. more than Japan. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, but I watched two of the Japan games and they barely beat Australia. I know it's only one game. Or barely beat Australia. They barely beat Korea. Obviously, they're
You're
great. They
scouting,
often
John.
win. I'm scouting. I got up at 5 a.m. to watch these games, and I get
Come
up
on, we're
anyway.
old men. We get up at 5 a.m.
Yeah, I get up anyway at 5 a.m. So obviously they got Yamamoto, they got Otani, they got a great team. But I mean, we got an all-star team that's on the bench. So I mean, how much was it going to impact things? That extra boost that the best pitcher in baseball versus the 15th best pitcher in baseball give you over one inning. I think it would have been selfish had he stayed, really, and knocked somebody off their appointed scheduled start. So I think he clearly made the right decision.
Yeah, well, we make we make rules along the way for people who are extremely talented, and this is the most talented pitcher in the world. If he would have started the final over Nolan McLean, who I think everyone who listens to the show know you and I think very, very highly that he's a future ace. I think everyone would have understood that, and I understand his decision. He's got probably as a baseline $400 million coming next off season if he gets through this season, anything like the last 2 years where he's won the American League Cy Young both times. I will
I
say
mean,
this.
it's not just the money; it's his career and his life, right? I
Yes,
mean,
yes,
yeah,
you have a right to. I want to make that clear. He has a right to this decision, and it's a decision he had already pre-made. I'm going to make one
right,
start, and you used the right term. He got caught up in this, and the question was, would he stay or not? He could have stayed and pitched. What you would have had to give up is opening day. He's been the opening day starter the last 2 years. If you wanted to do something wholly different than you've never done before, it could have been lined up that he would have pitched again in this tournament and then maybe started the third game of the season. It could have been done. If he wanted to do it, it could have been done. I understand why he didn't. He has an obligation, as you say, to his employers. He has an obligation to his future career. And this is, again, to your very strong point, not generally what a free agent pitcher will do in that walk year. But he could have done it and thrown those 4 innings. And I do see the storm coming. If for some reason they get to the finals and McLean blows up, we are going to have a discussion about this again, right? Like, well, what would have happened if Skubal was there? So
right. Well,
I
nobody's
get
going to blow up too much because there's all hands on deck by the
yes,
time you get to the final, right? And they've got all sorts of great pitchers, starters and relievers at his disposal. So, yeah, I don't foresee that happening with McLean, but yeah, I guess it's possible. But he did what he said he was going to do. It's not like he backed out of a start.
no,
So,
again, I
right,
want to make clear.
right,
I think he told them what he was going to do. They accepted it. This is why.
right,
But like, it was possible. The thing he would have given up is the honor of opening day, which
right.
he's done a few times. John,
Absolutely.
let's flip this over to two guys who are on the outfield bubble for our New York teams, Carson Benge and Jasson Dominguez. Why don't we start with Benge? You were just up in Met Camp. I was
Yeah.
there earlier. I think we'll probably both be there again before the end of the year. I'm going to be there on opening day. Are you coming opening day?
I'd like to. I don't know. I'm not a good planner.
Yes.
I got
We've
here
noticed
two
that. We
days
were
too late. I'm 2 days too early. I thought the semis were Friday, and I guess they're not. So I'm not a good planner. So I'm gonna have to get back to you on that one.
so the question is, will Benj be in right field? And to me,
Yeah.
this is like a decision. It's a twofold decision, John. Let's see if I could set it up and you could hit it out of the park. The twofold decision is David Stearns has said one of the things he does want to do every year is make sure there's a pathway for young players to break through. The most obvious position player ready to break through is Carson Benge as the starting right fielder with Soto moving to left. He's had a good spring. He's 9 for 23, hit a triple the other day. Seems to control at bats. He seems to run the bases well and field. He seems like a guy ready to graduate college and go to the pros, go to their chosen field. Uh, Downside, if you are talking about Taylor, Mauricio Vientos, and Torrens, it means Tachman can't make the team unless you decide Mauricio doesn't make the team. And then you don't kind of have a clear backup shortstop unless you're okay with Bichette flipping over to be the backup shortstop. I think the guy has earned it. I think the GM talked a big game about wanting to open up this kind of thing. I think if nothing changes in the next 2 weeks, he should and will make it. What do you think, John?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think he makes the team. I don't see any reason why he shouldn't. He's basically a 4.5 tool player right now. I think he's going to have that power. It'd be 5 tool. He does everything well. He hits lefties. He hangs in there. I'm with you. I think they're just not committing yet because there's 2 weeks to go and you never know what can happen. I feel like they're leaning that way, and they should be. I see him as the starting right fielder for the New York Mets.
Here's one that factors into it. Mark Vientos does not have an option. He obviously was down a grade from 2024 to 2025. And John, I really do ignore spring numbers at a pretty high level, but he has not hit this spring. What is the Mets' tolerance level to keep a guy on the bench who doesn't bring defense, doesn't bring base running, unless he hits? I think that this is a key moment in the world of Vientos. Like what? Because like it's so much easier for their bench to work if Vientos is
Right.
there, right? Like it just makes more sense as a group. The only reason to be there is to hit. Is he going to hit?
Yeah. Well, to me, Vientos was such a star in 2024. I try to figure out a way to put him on the team. I get what you're saying. It's not the perfect fit.
Well, he
The
has to be
guy,
on the team. He's out of options. They either
yeah.
put him on the
Well,
team
you could
or they
trade
lose
him.
him.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I would give him one more shot with the Mets, rather than figure out a way to move on from him. The guy was such a dynamo in 2024. That's not so long ago, right? I'd give him another shot. That I don't think that last spot on the bench is that valuable that I would give up that chance.
Yeah, I think I think he's going to get that chance because trades are harder to make it this time of year. And I will say, I have yet to find the executive who has him like he is thought better of, I think, by our group of media, this group of fans, and maybe even the Mets than he is out in the big wide world. Maybe because that's the big wide world cares so much about defense, base running, and that's really like it's all about his bat. Can he hit or not? Jasson Dominguez, John. He's also had a good spring. He's 8 for 27 as we speak, two doubles, a homer. Um, I will throw in the bugaboo. He has 9 strikeouts and 27 at bats. He's 1 for 8 batting right-handed with 3 strikeouts. To me, if he can't hit from the right side, he can't make this team the way it's built. They clearly, Grichuk, Goldschmidt, and Rosario over the last 3 to 5 years have been three of the best guys hitting left-hand pitching in the sport. And they have a very left-dominated lineup. And if your bench probably has to tilt the other way, it does tilt the other way. Dominguez doesn't make sense on that bench, especially once they sign Grichuk to a deal. I think he ends up at AAA. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. Go to AAA, prove you could hit lefties, prove you could defend, and you'll play baseball someplace this year, Yankees or elsewhere. What do you think, John?
Yeah, it's hard to believe we're talking about this. I can remember in spring last year at the beginning, and Aaron Boone was predicting multiple All-Star appearances for Dominguez. I think that's certainly within the realm of the possibility and maybe even likely still. The guy's an incredible talent. I know the fans are disappointed. It does feel that that's the way it's been heading for weeks. I mean, I made a note of it a couple months ago that he's likely to start in the minors, and boy, did I get response to that. I think, and I think you disagree with me on this. I don't think they should have given Grisham the qualifying offer. He had that fantastic season. He had more home runs than any other center fielder, I believe. And, he's obviously a decent defender. He was even better than before last year. But make him that offer 4 times what he made the previous year, his defense is sliding a little bit. I mean, I don't want to knock anything because he was great last year, but $22 million is a lot of money for Trent Grisham. I think that's where the mistake was made, and that's where they were locked in because they had made Bellinger their number one priority. We knew that there was a likelihood they were going to
John,
bring him back.
do you think that Bellinger becomes a much tougher sign if they don't do Grisham and at least have the idea that Grisham and Dominguez could be out there if there's no Bellinger? And that I think that was part of the equation with this. I would ask that on Grisham. And the other one is if Grisham had that same exact year for the Phillies, the Padres, somebody else, and the Yankees signed a 35 homer center fielder to a 1 year, $22 million contract, would we say, oh, that's a pretty good contract?
Yeah, I just don't. I didn't think he's a $22 million player. He had
For
a
one
great year.
year. For one year.
Yeah, no, I didn't think so. People always say there's no bad 1 year deal. I've seen a lot of bad 1 year deals. So, he's a solid player. He's a solid defender. He obviously has got pop. The ballpark is right for him. He had a nice year. As it turned out, I don't think anybody got close to tempting him to not take that 22 million. I mean, that's not the proof of it, but to me, that was where the mistake was, and they were going to bring back Bellinger, which we all agreed was the right thing to do. He was fantastic for the team. He's also great with that ballpark, very versatile. I mean, he's got a lot going for him. Obviously, not comparing him to Grisham or Dominguez or anybody else. It's certainly a big plus to have Bellinger on the team, but that's where I think the mistake was made. But and once you do that, it doesn't. It feels like Grichuk is going to get that other spot because he does hit lefties. And Dominguez is just going to give the Yankees the best AAA outfield in baseball with Spencer Jones, who's also killing it in the minors. It is weird that we've come to this point where they wouldn't even consider giving up Dominguez for even Juan Soto, and then he's predicted to be a multiple All-Star, and now it looks likely, barring injury, he's going to be in the minor leagues. It's weird, but I think at this point that's the logical decision.
Yeah, I think that's where the logic is going. John, if you could just, if they both cost the same thing, and you could give 500 plate appearances this year to either Dominguez or Grisham, um, and knowing the flip side of it is also no Grisham means Bellinger probably has to play center field every day, which is probably the worst of his four positions, which is to say he's good at
Yeah,
it, but
right.
he's not the one that he plays the best. And maybe you run some kind of more injury stuff with him. I don't know if he's playing center field. I don't know. I'm okay with the Grisham thing because of what it means overall. But would you rather have Grisham 500 plate appearances in center? And Bellinger in left, or Bellinger in center and 500 plate appearances from Dominguez.
Yeah, I think the likelihood is that 500 plate appearances. Grisham probably outplays Dominguez, but I do include the salary in that. I would have taken that 22 million, as I've said on the show many times, and signed Diaz. With the deferrals, he's making slightly, I believe, slightly less than 22 million for the year. You got Dominguez as your closer, Bednar as your setup man. Then it's a team without weakness, right? Right now, I think the bullpen is the question more than the outfield. And if you're going to give me 22 million to spend, maybe they're polite to the Mets. I don't know. They never seem to consider it. I would have gotten Diaz and foregone Grisham.
So, like the other thing I would ask before we kind of close this segment is, you're so much better with numbers and all this than me. If you were the house and you had to establish an over/under number for plate appearances in the major leagues this year for Dominguez, what would that number be?
Oh boy.
Can I
Well,
go
there's
first?
always injuries, and
Yeah.
you've certainly Stanton, great player on his way to the Hall of Fame, but he does get hurt a lot.
Bellinger's got
So
some
I'm
back
gonna
stuff.
I'm gonna say probably 300. I don't think that's related to who's good with numbers. I think that's more about the baseball, and I'm gonna
But
defer to
but
you
but
on
but
that.
to my point, John, is like I actually would have made the number lower. I would have said
Yeah,
200 and a half, you
yeah,
know. But the fact that you're saying 300 means he is going to get opportunity this year.
right, right.
Question
I do
is, does
believe
he
that.
ever fully seize it by being major league average as a right-hand hitter and as a left fielder so that he could really capitalize on what he does left-handed and what he does on the base paths? Because there are some
Yeah,
well above average skills he has. And he needs to get closer to average at the other things to be that one or two time all-star
right.
that you alluded to, that Boone alluded to, actually, to you. But like he's going, like I think both of us agree. I'm making it 200, you're making it 300. He's going to get opportunity. The question
Right.
is, does he seize opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be 2027 when he does. Grisham's got that 1 year deal, as we said, and barring a trade for Dominguez, which I'm not going to rule out, I see it next year. I do believe he's going to be a very good major league player. 300, it's hard to become a star with even 300 at bats, and you see that as a little bit high, which you've been with the Yankees a lot more than I have this spring. I'm going to defer to you on that one. So 200 to 300 at bats. I'm not going to, no matter what he does, I'm not going to count it against him. I still think he's going to be a very good major league player. Barring injury, it's probably not going to be this year, though.
Yeah, I'll say this is the first job he has is to make sure when somebody gets called up, it's him and not Spencer Jones. That's the other thing
Yeah,
he needs to
Spencer
do.
Jones is an interesting player. He's got a lot of play. Like you said, he's got some real strengths too, and
Yeah,
he's got the weaknesses as well. It should be something. I mean, it's obvious that, everyone's thinking, could he be the next Aaron Judge? Well, there's only one Aaron Judge, but he still might be a hell of a player if you can hit 35 home runs and run like he runs. And he's probably the fastest guy on the team. His potential is even higher than Dominguez's, I think. I know he's a couple years older, but I do believe, or a little bit older.
yeah, a year
His
and a half.
potential's higher. Yeah.
We talk Team USA, we talk Mets, we talk Yankees. A guy who's played on all three of those teams is Clay Holmes. He joins us next on the show. It kind of went under the radar a little last year because the Mets struggled so much over the last few months. But one of the real success stories was Clay Holmes' transition from late game reliever to make 31 starts, throw more than 165 innings, have a 3.5 ERA. And among other things that got him on Team USA, where last Saturday he pitched three shutout innings, struck out six, including five in a row at one time against Great Britain. And lastly, we'd like to say he's also a friend of the show. He's joined us before. Clay, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
And it's always a pleasure to be here with you guys.
Clay, as the first question, it looks like you're at the best party in the world right now. You're playing baseball with Team USA. It seems like it's tell us about it. It just seems great from a distance to be with all these great players at one time in one place. Tell us what it's like to be with this group.
I'm glad it's being, portrayed that way because it is definitely a dream. I mean, it is. I mean, all that you would, dream up. It's the best players in the world. You're on the same team. You're riding the same buses. You're chatting it up in the locker rooms, and you're playing for something that matters. I mean, I think, as a someone who loves baseball, I mean, what else is there to want? And so it's, my first time doing it, and man, it's been an amazing experience. You see, there's certain you know reasons pitchers might have to leave, this and that, and people aren't wanting to go. So it's definitely an environment that draws you in. It's more than just a showcase game. You feel that it's like, man, this is a team, and this matters, and we're the best players in the world, and it's been an amazing experience so far.
You mentioned guys not
Mhm,
wanting to go. That seemed to be the case with Tarik Skubal. So I want to ask
mhm,
you about that. How did that feel to you? Were you
mhm.
ultimately surprised? I was surprised that he was even considering it, throwing a second game. He already threw one as a free agent to be. Most of the free agent to be's were not down there at all. What was your perspective from where you sit on that?
Yeah, I don't think he's alone. There's pitchers, especially starting pitchers that um, like there were some innings here this first time that we needed, and it kind of there's also a pull in another direction. Is, hey, there's a season to get ready for. You have to get pitches in, and I mean, there's definitely a pull that way. Attention that you feel, and so yeah, I mean, there's guys that you kind of have to get ready for the season. There's things that don't totally align, and as bad as you want to do it, there's other things that you're having to meet too, and so yeah, I mean, just credit for him, wanting to do it and have the desire, and I mean, you can see that, he wants to be out there, he wants to take the ball, and um, yeah, you get in this environment. I think every pitcher on the roster, you want to pitch, you want to be out there as much as possible, and I think it's fun to see, it's fun to be a part of, and like I said, it's tough for anybody to leave this.
John and I do have
Mhm,
something in common with you. We also work with
mhm,
Mark Rosa at MLB Network, and he was clearly, whenever
mhm,
I saw him at the network, obsessing about this team, putting
mhm,
together something that not only had great players but that looked like a
mhm.
team, so that the U.S. won after Japan has won the last two. What is the internal pressure like, Clay, to make sure that happens? You've obviously assembled a great team.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much pressure it is. I think at this point it's just kind of a natural thing. The people that are in the room, the players, the people. Um, you know, some players, we know each other from previous teams or whatnot, and I think just the history and the guys, the people, the players. I mean, it's just I think this has come together tremendously. And then, like I said, it's a dream team. It's the place you want to be. It's the baseball you want to play, and it's lived up to the hype for sure.
To follow up on that, George Steinbrenner always said with the
Hmm.
Yankees that it's only a success if you win it all. I don't
Hmm.
know how much you believe that when there are 30 teams, but looking at that team, and I agree with you, this is a dream team,
Hmm.
kind of like that 92
Hmm.
basketball team. I mean, we got Gunnar Henderson as a backup player, Pete Crow Armstrong, a backup player. I mean, that rotation, ridiculous. I mean, is that fair to this team? Is that right? It's only really a success if you win this whole thing.
I mean, that's our expectations. We're in this thing to win it. It's very obvious. That's what we want. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here to. That's what we're showing up for. And so, yeah, our expectations, what we desire is, we want to win this thing. I think that's everybody that's in this tournament. Um, and the more you play, the more you feel the fans. You see it matters to the fans. The more you see it, how much it matters. Just that's even more of a push to win this thing. I think we all feel that. We all want it, and like I said, that's what we're here for.
You have previous experience playing with Aaron Judge as a
Mhm.
Yankee, where he was a captain. He's a captain here. Uh, Take him, but also like, how does leadership form on a team that kind of is thrown together, has two exhibition games, and is then told, "Hey, go really care and play."
Mhm. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I mean, obviously, Judge, he has great presence about him. He's a tremendous player, but I think the thing that comes across when you first meet him is like, man, this guy cares. He cares about me. He cares about the game. He cares about getting better. And I think no matter what room he is, you feel that. And I think that, that kind of bleeds out to the rest of the clubhouse. And so, yeah, to have him as the captain, to just have that presence of what he stands for, what he means, and what, how he pushes, teams and players, um, is the start of this. And I think, you see that. And, um, yeah, I mean, he's a leader, and it happens, naturally for him. And, yeah, just like I said, to see how this team's come together so quickly, and how much the guys enjoy it, and how much the guys enjoy playing with each other has been a fun experience.
Tell me about the
Mhm.
attitude of some of these guys. I mean, Will Smith, Gunnar Henderson, Pete Crow Armstrong, the three of the best players in Major League Baseball. They're backups on this team.
Mhm.
I mean, I know Paul Goldschmidt, new coming in, he's the backup, but uh, how are these guys dealing with being a back? And Bobby Witt too. I mean, Bobby Witt is one of the probably three best players in the world. Uh, how are these guys handling the fact that they don't get to play every day? I'm imagining they're not probably throwing temper tantrums in front of everybody, but what are you seeing from them?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't even once thought about, you know, playing time, pitching time. I mean, you just don't really get that vibe. I mean, people are here to show up, to be with each other, um, to work. You still see everybody working hard. I mean, then when your name's called, I mean, everybody's ready. And I think, that's the expectation, position player wise, pitcher wise. I mean, it's one of those things where you know what's at stake, you know what matters, and you know what you signed up for, and that's we're here to win it, and we're here to do it together. And I think you really get that, you get that vibe, which is, like I said, I think one thing that when you talk about this team is it's cool to see, that really just winning a game matters. There's a lot of other things that could go on, but it's like at the end of the day, if we win, everybody's happy, and this is what we're here for. So I mean, that's the vibe you get. And, especially you talk about playing for, USA, and what, it stands for, and the selfless sacrifice that it's taken, just for this country. I think, that also, plays a role. And, guys, there's going to be some sacrifices you have to make, to be on this team. And I think everybody's more than willing to do that.
You mentioned A was a dream team,
Hmm.
and also earlier you mentioned like the bus rides, etc. Can
Hmm.
you take us inside a little bit? Like, will anything? I'm sure you will have other memories and
Hmm.
perhaps ultimately the ultimate memory from this coming up. But anything stick with you so far? Time with somebody who you may have not spent with before? What is going on in the bus rides, the clubhouse, the weight room? Group dinners or breakfast, whatever
Hmm.
that is really going to resonate with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's everywhere you go, really. It's like you said, and you get on the bus and you just watch, guy after guy come on. It's like, man, this is cool. This bus is just loaded with stars, and we're getting on a bus to go to the field like we've done many times in our career, but we're doing it with these guys, and we're going to win a baseball game. And it just has a special feeling. A lot of the mundane things that come with the baseball season, um, you appreciate them a little bit more here, with this team, and that's because of who's here. It was one of the exhibition games in Arizona. I remember sitting down in the bullpen watching one of the stars warm up, and I look over and Kershaw's sitting to my left, and you got Brian McCann to my right. I grew up Braves fan from the South, and watched a lot of BMAC, and just one of those moments where it's like, man, this is cool. We're getting to play a baseball game. You're around these guys, um, all great people. Easy conversations, and like I said, it's a dream come true to be on this team and just to share the locker room with these people.
You guys are the betting favorite. We know that now because 99.9% of the country apparently
Mhm.
bets, and it's all over the place. But that Dominican lineup, with your friend Juan Soto and the rest of them, they look pretty. You guys have something planned to get them out? That lineup looks like a match for the USA lineup and team.
Yeah, it'd be a fun matchup. I think yeah, I'm not sure when that game would be or when it's lined up or what that would look like, but they have a good team. Me and Juan would joke about it a little bit before we left, and they know it. We know it. It's going to be a really fun, exciting game. I think it's what we play this game for. You want the best go up against the best, and to all matter, and to have it, one games, matter so much. In the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals is just a unique, thing for baseball, and it's a unique, just atmosphere you play in. I think it's really special, and it's really easy to see why the fans love it, why the players love it, and um, yeah, it'll be a big matchup with the DR.
Why don't I use Juan Soto as
Hmm.
my tortured segue to get us to the Mets?
Hmm.
This is year two as a starter, back
Hmm.
to being a starter for you, Clay.
Hmm.
What's different this year? I assume it's probably a little easier, but take us through year two of being a starter.
Hmm. Yeah, it's been. The transition last year was, it was a challenge. I wanted to take on, and it was. I felt like it was, pretty rewarding just to be able to, get that opportunity and kind of take it on and, add some pitches and be able to, tinker with things and really kind of expand what I could do. Um, and obviously, make the starts, and I think that it put me in a really good spot to build a foundation of kind of to build off of, and coming this year, I felt like I, ended the year in a great spot, physically, kind of direction I wanted, with the pitching and was really able to build off that. And I think coming in, I can feel it. I think, the ups, transitioning from a pen, the starter, the more ups you have, you can start to feel it. I think it would be a natural thing within the outing. And, the ups have definitely felt, I would say, a little bit easier this time around. Just as the game goes on, you're sitting, you're cooling, getting back up. And, um, yeah, I think, the changeup was a big addition and be able to build on that, just to build on, the innings I threw last year, is really exciting. So I'm excited to, be in the rotation with these guys that we have with the Mets. I think it's going to be a fun group, a very talented group, and I think we know the work we had have ahead of us, and we're ready to take it on.
Uh, what do you think about us? It looks like to me anyway
Mm-hmm.
that there could be a potential of a six-man rotation. You've got six really guys who are starters who are,
Hmm.
clear. worthy of a start. What do
Mhm.
you think about it? Maybe it'll be easier for you as a guy who was a reliever, or maybe not. Maybe it'd be less easy. You guy who pitched every day
Mhm.
before. How do you feel like a six-man rotation would affect you?
Yeah, I mean that's what we did last year for a lot of the time. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly sure the direction they're wanting to go with that, but I think the thing I take away is last year health was a little bit. We had some guys missing at quite a few times throughout the year with the rotation, and I think health is the name of the game. If we have healthy six guys, then it's going to be a really fun group, and just to see guys are feeling good, throwing the ball well, it's a huge confidence right now and a huge positive sign. I really think so. Just to see where guys are at, how good they're feeling is very encouraging. I think it excites all of us.
Clay, a guy who
Hmm.
is part of that six man, he's also part of Team USA is Nolan
Hmm.
McLean.
Hmm.
It's hard to be anything less than very enthusiastic and excited off of watching the starts last year. Amazingly, he still qualifies as a rookie. And John was mentioning betting odds. He's the rookie of the year favorite. I dare say, watching him, he might get some Cy Young Award votes this year if he stays healthy. What do you see from your young starter who might pitch near the very top of this rotation?
Yeah, I mean, he's got it. He's got the stuff. You've seen the command. I think he's able to command, two fastballs, and he has a really good feel for spin. And we can do that and add velocity in there. It's almost like create a pitcher. He's just. I mean, you saw it there. He was dominant, when he come up last year, and I think you've seen, nothing short of that pitcher again here in spring so far. If not, maybe a little bit better. His velo's been up there. He's looked super sharp, and like I said, I've said it before, but just the work that he puts in, just the type of presence he has, the maturity he has, and where you know he sees himself. It's been fun to watch just to see him like come in and just be Nolan. It's a hard thing to do. It's very easier said than done, but just to trust yourself and be yourself and on a bigger stage, bigger environment is can be hard sometimes. And he has that belief to him, which is fun to see, and I'm excited to watch him grow this year.
I know you've been with the Dream Team for more than a week now, but
Mhm.
the Mets obviously made a lot of changes coming off the
Mhm.
disappointing finish last year. Do you have any initial impressions of Polanco at first base, Bichette at third base, or Carson Benge, who's creating a lot of excitement in Mets camp where I just was?
Yeah, when I was there, I mean, everybody was looking great. Faced them in live VPs. Saw them swing the bat, and I mean, special players. I mean, they can do a lot. Dynamic. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any challenges for them to make the transitions to positions. Obviously, all of them can swing the bat really well, and so to have those guys in the lineup this year and those additions is it's going to be huge for us. I think we all know that or know the players they are and what they can do, and just to have them added in this lineup and be a part of this team, and what they bring just in the clubhouse is um, man, it's just super exciting. I think it fuels everybody. So it's been fun to watch them, see them up close, and be excited to play with them this year.
Clay, at the beginning of this, we asked you about Skubal, who can be a free
Hmm.
agent at the end of this year. It's not talked about a lot. You could be a free agent at the end of this year. You could actually opt out of your contract after 2026. How much is that on your mind, and how you could set yourself up this year off of, again, what I thought was an underappreciated strong first year. Again, I think it got lost a little bit because your team finished poorly, just how durable and well you did this.
Yeah, yeah. We put that opt out in there just to kind of protect, the transition, the starting role, and so it's there, and it's something we'll have to evaluate at the end of the year. But um, at the end of the day, I love pitching. I just want to go out and pitch, and yeah, like I said, I'm excited to build off what I did last year. I feel like I'm in a great position. Just with Arsenal, physical, where I was at physically. And so, super excited for this year and to see where it goes. And like I said, any of those decisions we'll have to reevaluate at the end of the year. But it's going to be a fun year, exciting year, and I think we're all ready to get it started at this point.
Well, I'll consider
Hmm.
that part of your old job here, Clay. That was a good close. The we do appreciate you. We know it's a busy time. We know it's an exciting time.
Hmm.
Clay is joining us from Houston, where Team USA
Hmm.
is. He jumped in at the last second to join us. We do consider
Hmm.
him a friend of the show. And Clay, we hope that all that stuff you just said, that you're healthy and successful. We hope it happens, and we
Hmm.
appreciate you joining the show.
Yep. Thanks as always, guys. Good chatting.
Thanks, Clay. Thank you.
Thanks, Clay.
Yep. See you.
John and I, of course, thank Clay Holmes, a frequent guest, joining us again. John, hit or error?
I'm going to give it a hit. I've been very, very positive lately. I don't know. We have great inflation, or at least I do. I'm going to give it to the Dominican team. I just think there's just so much excitement around this team. I loved it when they made Juan Soto do push-ups after he hit a fly out to the warning track in center field. He was laughing as soon as he hit it. He knew it was going to be a fly out to the warning track. He comes back and they make him do the push-ups. I mean, obviously, they're so much better than the teams that they play that they can, I guess, clown around a little bit or whatever, but I enjoyed it. I think they're having fun, and I'm having fun watching them.
Yeah, the enthusiasm's great. I wish we get more of it during the regular season from the major league teams. I don't think anybody's being shown up. I think joy is joy, and if you take someone else's joy as a show up, that's your problem. John, I'm going to give an error to the Atlanta Braves. They have lost three starting pitchers this spring training. And they went into it already knowing AJ Smith-Shawver wasn't going to pitch this year after Tommy John surgery. They went in knowing Ronaldo Lopez had a shoulder thing and only made one start last year. That Chris Sale is 37. Strider is coming back from fraud. Then they lost Waltrip, Schwallenbach, and recently they just lost Joey Wentz to an ACL. Uh, John, they're running out of arms. The good news and the bad news, within the bad news, is that Jurickson Profar was just suspended, which hurts, I guess. Though the fact that they signed Mike Yastrzemski should probably help them cover up some of that. But they do get his $15 million back. And Lucas Giolito is still sitting out there on the market. Maybe that's a sign that the Braves don't like Lucas Giolito. But they have 15 million. I'm not sure Patrick Sandoval, for example, is going to make the Red Sox rotation. Can they make a trade with Boston to get someone like him? They have somebody. One of the best things, and I hate to say it like this because I always want guys to stay healthy and the best. It's kind of good news for the Mets. The Braves rotation has taken on three huge hits when it was already the most fragile part of their team. John, they probably have to do something between now and like opening day, if not by even Memorial Day, to just steady that part of the team.
Yeah, one thing I found interesting about their press release regarding Profar's second drug suspension was they said they were greatly disappointed, but they left out surprise. Last year they said they were surprised and they're not surprised anymore. Nobody's surprised. He's the biggest cheater in sports, and certainly in baseball. It's actually probably, I mean, it's obviously embarrassing, but 15 million, is he worth 15 million? I mean, I'd rather have the 15 million than a guy who obviously cheated to build those stats a couple years ago with the Padres. I don't get it. I don't know why they don't get Lucas Giolito. I don't know why nobody has signed Lucas Giolito. I thought he was really good last year with Boston. His final, I heard somebody talk about he didn't end well. I mean, his final couple months were pretty good overall, I think. I don't get it. This is a public company. We know they make what they will at least admit to publicly of $70 million profit. Go out and get Lucas Giolito. Go out and get somebody that costs some money somewhere, right? I really don't understand what's happening. Good, it's a good error by you. I need to think of more errors. I like your errors.
Yes, my negativity helps with the show.
It's very good. Yeah, good
Yes.
negativity. Very positive negativity.
The positive who helps with the show is Tavi Hogan, our producer, so great every week, making this possible. Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, please rate and review us. It does help the show, as does going to the New York Post Sports YouTube page and giving us a view. Don't forget, the California Post is fully going now. Read John, obviously, all the time in the New York Post, and stick with us on the show with Joel Sherman and Jon Heyman.